You have correctly determined that your patient is in ventricular tachycardia. You've checked your EKG leads, you've checked patient symptoms, you've checked to make sure that your defibrillator pads are placed correctly on the patient. You know that they're in VTAC. The first thing you're going to do is come over to our sync button and click it once. You want to double check that the monitor is indeed syncing with your patient. You can see that by the yellow dots at the top of every QRS. You have S's syncing with the QRS, plus you have a sync icon at the top there. Next, we're going to choose the energy select. So we come down to our energy select, hit up or down, and per our protocol, we start at 100 joules. Now you notice our monitor says check pads. This only says this because I do not have the appropriate equipment to demonstrate a real shock. So you can ignore that at the moment, but there we go, in real life, that will not say check pads if you have it appropriately attached to the patient. Next, we're going to charge. As soon as it gets up to 100, you can hit the fluorescent shock button. But because I'm not going to shock, I want to get out of it. I can do that by hitting energy select. And as soon as you do shock, this will turn to a 1. And that's how you synchronize Cardiovert. You have appropriately determined that your patient needs to be paced. After you've placed the appropriate pacer pads on the patient, you want to go to your pacer button. You can scroll up to mode. Demand pacing is exactly what we want, so I'm going to leave it there. The rate we need to change. My local protocols have me start at 80. Okay? Then I come down to start pacer. You notice that you're going to start seeing pacer spikes, but no capture. So I'm going to come up to output and start increasing until I see capture. Because I don't have the appropriate equipment to demonstrate capture, we're going to assume that we are seeing capture up here. You want to get out of your output and come down to your arrow to get into the main screen. So as you can see, we have our pacing going on. It's complaining, saying check your pads because I don't have the appropriate equipment. Your rate is at 80, good. Output's at 75, and our mode is demand. And that is how you pace on the Zoll. If you wanted to pause the pacing function, you can come back to pacer and scroll up to pause pacer. This allows you to see the underlying rhythm. Notice that turned yellow. When you resume pacing, you can come up to your button and pacing continues.